Good morning, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel honored that you invite us, civil society from Indonesia. I'm not only representing my institution, Transparency International Indonesia, but the civil society organizations, particularly the core team of NGO, part of the core team of Open Government Partnership in Indonesia led by UKAV4. And we have Karina here. This is Karina, please stand up. Yeah, our lead in the Open Government Partnership in Indonesia. Well, talking about OGP, the catchy word is partnership. Open government has been already there as a jargon, as a movement, as activities that all over the world, the government and civil society have been pushing so long. But the partnership of the OGP is that distinctive word that defines the OGP. So it's all started in Bali. To give you a little bit example on how the partnership between civil society and the government in doing such a big event in Bali, our Asia Pacific OGP conference in May 2014, a couple of months ago, when we sit together, civil society and the government, to not only promote the spirit of open government partnership, but also to talk more about our challenges and also opportunities for changes in the Asia Pacific as a region. We know that we have similar situations. We have little bit similar challenges in our region, even though there is a very advanced countries in the region. There is also quite developing countries in the region. There's of course quite undeveloped countries in the region, but the most important that these differences is not become a burden or become obstacles for us to talk about how to give us solutions to the real problem of the people. So when we are in Bali, we feel the same feeling that as a region we need to say something and make a solutions to these problems. Well, in Bali, we have what we call as a CSO Day, where Sarun is one of the facilitator or a lead coordinator in one of the sessions. In Bali, the CSOs from all over the country in the region formulate three points of the joint statement. The one that we feel that we need to protect and promote civic space as enablers or as conditions to improve people's life and to create good governance. And the second, we need to put the governance at the core center of the development. And we know now that in the United Nations there is already an ongoing debate about the goals, the post-MDG goals in the post-2015 agenda. And the last one is to improve the internal mechanism of OGP. We know that this is a good platform for us to improve governance. But in order to improve governance, we have to have some sort of a fixed and a better internal mechanism to improve participation, accountability, and transparency. And what become a blessing for us as a civil society during that event, that the steering committee, who are actually the governance body of the OGP, respond at least two of these demands. The first demand responded by creating a rapid response unit that actually function to facilitate and respond to particular report if there is violations to civic space in particular country, which is show that how the governance body also very responsive to demand of the civil society. And the second, the establishment of what we call as permanent dialogue in OGP. So this is already, we can see as a blessing for us, not only a blessing, but also show how the partnership is going. When we are heard, civil society feel that trust is already there, and not only trust, but there is concrete actions to what we demand. And the second, as what I said before, that we are in the region, particularly Southeast Asia, we have some similarities. I mean, we are all countries that are in developing and try to improve public services. This is the challenges after, for example, Indonesia had a reform in 1998. We have a reform. And I think in Cambodia, I read about that you are now in the developing stage after past war, for example. So in all these post situations, I mean, now we are pushing to better public services. And as I heard from Mr. Sarun before, that the reform in Cambodia is already going on. I mean, we need to keep this momentum, and using maybe the OGP is one of the platforms or tools that can facilitate the reform to go faster and better. This is maybe one of the momentum that we can keep going. And the last one that I want to highlight, that actually in Indonesia, we've been already, well, I'm from the civil society. I'm part of the reform movement in 1998, where after that, civil society, not only civil society, but also people have been outspoken, and the civil society organizations is so vibrant. But sometimes, before the OGP, we are already outside. We are only outside the system. We only knocking the door from outside. When the OGP come, we are part of the, not the system, but we are part of the group that can decide on what we want and what government should do, for example. So OGP is open up spaces for us, and the incentive for us that we are not only outside and knocking the door, but we are also become part of who decide what is important for the country. Thank you.